Hey guys, Monochrome here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Genuinely good to have you. Today we're taking a look at the Coast RX345 tactical knife. And it sure does look tactical. Let's get a closer look. Yeah, nice little red circle with a black background. For those of you who really love the game The Division, this looks like something that one of the characters from that game would use, but no, it's not in the game. This is designed by Doug Hutchins. And guys, as usual, yes, there will be specs in the description box below. Be sure to check that out when the video is over. Now, this knife has 3 positions where you could attach this pocket carry clip. When you get it out of the box, it comes here for right hand tip down carry. Well, that's not going to work for me, so I transferred it over to this side for right hand tip up carry. And the hardware it uses, yeah, those are Phillips screws, not Allen head, not Torx, Phillips. And yeah, my experience has been over many long years of knife collecting. If you have Phillips screws, yeah, be careful when removing them. Because sometimes, oh yes, you can very easily strip them. Not the screws, yeah, the handle they attach to. And for a while there, while I was putting the clip on this side, yeah, I thought I had a stripped out situation. Thankfully, I was wrong. But yeah, just be careful with tiny Phillips head screws used for securing knife clips. Guys, Coast is a budget brand, as I'm sure a lot of you already know. And even though they're flashlights, in my humble opinion, most of them are a good bargain for the price. With the knives, it's a little bit of a different story. You have to be very selective when it comes to Coast knives. But yeah, 2 little Phillips head screws, a somewhat low profile carry clip design. But yeah, you can see how much will stick up above the clip. But the nice thing is the clip is black, the screws are black, the handle is black, the blade is black. So if you're wearing a pair of black shorts, cargo shorts, or black pants, cargo pants, yeah, this becomes invisible. It really does. So even though it's technically a low profile carry clip that's not mounted high enough, I mean, black on black on black, yeah, no one's going to really be able to see it. Now, this black finish on the clip, it's a very basic one. I can see this rubbing off rather easily, especially along the edges of the clip. Well, that's when you just hit it up with some flat black spray paint if that gets really bad. Over here, you do have a lanyard hole. Always a nice thing to have, not always that handy. The handle scales, you get a nice diamond checkered pattern. I will say this, The pattern on the handles looks a lot more aggressive than it actually is in real life. I mean, yeah, these handle scales, the diamond checkering, wow, that looks hella impressive, hella aggressive. In reality, not that much. Not that much at all. It's better than smooth handle scales, but honestly, yeah, not that much. I mean, it is surprising how Coast was able to make the handle scales look very aggressive with this diamond checkering pattern. But yeah, it's surprisingly almost smooth, almost on both sides. Now, the good thing about that is that this knife will slip in and out of a pocket very, very easily using the clip. The bad news, if you're someone who has a very active lifestyle, you're constantly jogging, running, maybe doing somersaults in a vain attempt to impress the ladies, yeah, I can see this knife coming out of a pocket. That's how almost smooth these handle scales are on the sides. So just beware of that. Yep. Over here, we have something that some of you will love, probably some of you might hate. This is the cross patented Max Lock system. Let me show you how it works. This knife is an assisted opener, so please keep that in mind. When you see the red dot, that means you can just push on the thumb stud. There's only one thumb stud, but it is reversible. You can push on the thumb stud, and the blade comes flying out. There we are. Now that looked a bit more aggressive and fast than it is in real life. Not quite sure why it came out that quickly. I've been using this knife for quite a while, and normally it doesn't fly out quite that fast. So, okay. Obviously, weird things happen when my camera is on and I'm recording. And from here, you have a liner lock. Trying to get you guys a good image of that. Hold on a sec. Yeah. Not sure if you can see that, but it is a somewhat thick liner lock. Somewhat. Now to close this knife, you just close it like you would a normal liner lock knife. Push the liner to the left and start folding. Right about here, you'll encounter some resistance. Just keep going and it closes. And again, there we go. And it closes with a bit of resistance right about there. Now, if you push forward, right here, push forward, yeah, the red dot disappears and you have a lock symbol. What that means is your knife will not open. It won't open. So this is great if you're traveling and maybe you have this knife in a backpack, maybe carry-on luggage, obviously not on a plane, but perhaps on a train or a bus, that sort of thing. And yeah, this is a great way to be able to carry your knife and not worry about it opening up on you. And yeah, that lock works really well. Now, even though this is a patented system, I've obviously seen something similar from other brands. I think most of you guys have. But yeah, this is Coast's variation. And I guess it's different enough that they were able to patent it. So there you go. But I have seen something similar from other brands. So let me show you something else that this Max Lock system is capable of. So once again, red dot, lock is off, open it up, and unfortunately right there you saw something I've experienced more than once. Sometimes if you don't press on the thumb stud at just the right angle, the blade won't open even when it's unlocked. I've had it happen more than a few times with this knife, so watch out for that. That is one con. But okay, let's say you've got the blade open, it's out, and that is a 3.5-inch blade. As usual, guys, there will be more specs in the description box, of course. But let's say this is out and you decide to hit this, push it forward. There's the lock symbol. What does that do? Well, that actually locks the blade in the open position as well. That's right. It is now locked in the open position. Yep. Push the liner lock to the unlocked position and yep. There's a little bit of play. You can hear it. But that blade is not closing. So there you go. Technically, you can convert this tactical folder into a fixed blade knife of sorts. Yeah, so the nice thing about this system is that it works both in the open and the closed position. Closed position, yeah, that blade will not come flying out. Open position, that blade will not accidentally close on you. That is fantastic. That is a big advantage. But okay, let's close this up. And let's take a look at the rest of the handle. Aggressive jimping here, squared off. Aggressive jimping here, also squared off. You got some slightly less aggressive jimping here, although quite good. And there's plenty of squared off aggressive jimping down here. Now, this is an open pillar design. To an extent, it's not completely open pillar. But to an extent, it is, especially back here, as you can see. And let's take a look at this very aggressive jimping. Does it work well? Yes. But there's a problem. Because right here, in front of where you unlock the liner lock, right here, that is a hot spot. Yeah, when you got this in hand and you are really bearing down on it. Now, the rounded contoured handles are great for really bearing down on this knife. The handles really help to lock the knife into your hand, which is fantastic, but you do have a bit of a hot spot here. Right where your middle finger goes. Now, again, a bit of a hot spot. That is nothing compared to the massive hot spot right here. Yeah. Here's the problem. I would have preferred it if the liner lock had been recessed further down into the handle. Now, it's there to make it easy to close the knife, which a lot of people will appreciate. The problem is this jimping is too aggressive and the liner lock release is too far up above the handle scales. That is a massive hot spot when you are bearing down on this knife. Yeah, your index finger is taking a beating. If you hate your index finger, oh, I found the perfect knife for you. Yeah, the problem is this portion right here, the liner lock release. Yeah, that's just too aggressive. It's up too high above the handle scales, and it is thin. Look at how thin this is compared to here. Right here, minor hot spot. Here, major hot spot because of how raised it is. Yeah. These aggressive ridges and how thin it is. This is a major aggravating hot spot to the point that I think a lot of people will end up returning this knife because even though the handles are nicely contoured and rounded, fantastic grip in the hand, this area right here ruins it. Absolutely ruins it. I can definitely see people returning this speed-assisted tactical folder. Again, Coast is a budget brand, but still, there is no reason why your index finger should be resting on such a major hot spot with this knife. No reason at all. Yes, it is a budget knife. Absolutely. This thing will set you back $30, which is not bad overall for what you're getting. It's certainly an aggressive looking knife. It's definitely a cool looking knife. No doubt about that. No doubt. Yeah. Got a bit of weight to it, even though the handles are basically advanced polymer plastic. And yeah, some people just love a speed-assisted knife. I do like the patented max lock mechanism. I think it works well overall. But yeah, you got to hit that thumb stud at just the right angle. Otherwise, the blade won't come out even when the max lock system is unlocked. Yeah, that can be a little annoying. Now, honestly, guys, no, this is not something that you should carry around if you think you're the world's greatest knife fighter. No. You guys know me. Well, those of you who have been on my channel for at least a while, you know I have training in knife combatives, and I do not advocate carrying a knife for self-defense. Controversial opinion, knives don't have stopping power. So that's an issue. Handguns, yes, they do. Pepper spray, yes, absolutely. Knives, no. So Maybe carry this around as a large work knife, maybe on the ranch, maybe on the farm, something that you can open. Okay. Sorry about that. Apparently I was holding the knife a little too close to my tripod. Let's try this again. There we go. Yeah. Open it up. Use that max lock mechanism, and you basically have a convenient to carry folding knife that is almost as good as a fixed blade now. But again, this horrendously awful hot spot. Yeah, no. For me, that's going to be a deal breaker if I'm looking for a large folding knife that I can use on the job. No. That's going to be a deal breaker. I mean, using this every single day without gloves on, with that horrendous hot spot underneath my index finger, yeah, you're going to get a blister in no time at all. So, no. Something for occasional use out in the great outdoors, something as a backup knife. Yeah, I can see that. Something cool for the collection. Sure, why not? So yeah, this gets a very limited recommendation from me. If you're looking for a heavy-duty folding work knife, no. Something for occasional use, something as an extra knife when you're going camping, that sort of thing. Definitely not something for knife fighting. No. Knives are tools, not weapons. So yeah, this gets a conditional recommendation from me. Also, another issue, yeah, the blade steel. The blade shape is excellent. The blade steel, not so much. Again, this is a budget offering from a budget brand. So please keep that in mind. But the blade shape itself, drop point, very useful. Okay, guys, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, this gets only a conditional recommendation from me. Guys, please stay safe out there. Yes, it's still dangerous. I'll see you guys soon in the next video. Take care.